Hello, this video picks up where we left off with our video conferencing. We're talking about thesis statements. Here's my professional title, How to Make Sure You Have a Good One. So we're going to look at creating a good, solid academic thesis statement. Please indulge me, I'm going to get a little dorky here. I want to bring back in our visual, auditory, kinesthetic learning styles, and so instead of just talking to you, I'm going to give you a visual presentation to help you remember thesis statements. Okay, so here's some tips down below. First of all, a thesis statement needs to be grounded in a firm subject and rooted in truth. So here's our visual presentation. So here's the ground for our thesis statement. Thesis statement needs to have roots. So it's going to be grounded, rooted in truth, and here grows the stem. Okay, the next part of a thesis statement needs to have a central idea. So I don't know if you're noticing what we're building here. The thesis statement must have a central focus, and then it must do at least 6 things. There are others, but we'll focus on 6. A thesis statement must answer a question, be relevant, be provable, be arguable, be supportable, and not be effective. So we come back to our grounded and rooted thesis statement with this central focus. One of the first things we think about is that our thesis statement needs to be an answer to a question. Okay? Another factor is that our thesis statement needs to be relevant. Our thesis statement needs to be provable. Whoa. It needs to be arguable. There's no reason to write a paper about something everybody agrees with. And it needs to be supportable. You need to be able to bring in evidence. And the thesis statement should not be a fact. All right? So, this is much better in a classroom. I apologize. I think you'll remember it, though. There's no way you won't remember this. So let's look again. Let's plug in the pieces of a thesis statement. Okay, let's test this thesis statement. Going back to school as an adult is hard work. Okay, I don't remember. I think this was our first pedal around here somewhere. Actually, central focus. Do we have a central focus going back to school as an adult? We do have a central focus. It's quite broad. First pedal, does it answer a question? Well, the question could be, is going back to school as an adult hard work? So yes, it answers a question. Is it relevant? I think so. Is it provable? Well, here's where we get into a little bit of a problem that links back to the central focus. I don't know what we're proving. We're proving that it's hard work, but hard work is very vague, so we need something tangible. We need something to be able to hold on to hear, to see, to touch. Arguable. I don't know that anybody's really going to argue with that. Supportable, again, is just too vague to really be a solid thesis statement. So this thesis statement needs some work. So how about this? Adult students returning to school will need to find a support group to help them successfully balance adult responsibilities with school. It still needs tweaked. School and school, that sounds not very exciting. So we need to tweak some of those words. But we've got a central focus. It's an answer to a question. What do returning students need? It's relevant. I think you can prove it because you can go into the idea of a support group and adult responsibilities. It's arguable. Some people might say they could do it on their own. Others would argue that you need a support group. You could support it with evidence from a library. There's lots of research out there, and it's not a fact. It is something that's arguable. Let's look at another statement. People with a fixed mindset are unsuccessful. Well, the grounding and the roots aren't really there. This is tremendously vague. We need a little bit of a background to help the reader come to terms with what a fixed mindset is. We need some ideas of what unsuccessful is, or what are we talking about success in life, in school, in relationships, who are people. That's also very broad. So this thesis statement needs some work. So how about this one? The fixed mindset will hinder students. That's kind of an introduction to the thesis statement. To be successful in school, students must throw off the fixed mindset and prepare to devote themselves to hard work. Or actually, let's just do this. And devote themselves to hard work. So we've got a central focus about fixed mindset. We have students. We've got hard work. It answers a question: how are students successful? It's relevant, especially if you're a student. It's provable because there's lots of information about mindsets. It's arguable. Some people might be able to argue that you can get by without a growth mindset. It's supportable, and it's not a fact. To be successful in school, students can do many things to be successful. So it's not a fact that the fixed mindset must be thrown off. Students must devote themselves to hard work. So I hope this 7-minute video gave you some visuals and some ideas of how to better prepare for a thesis statement. This section C in a writer's reference will also help you, especially pages 11 through 18. So make sure you visit those. And as always, let me know if you've got questions.